can't get that one to go. Rebounded by Mitzi. Mitzi puts it in.
Beat gets it. They're going to go up on Joy, and it's good off the glass.
Morgan, Sammy Ashton all alone for the quick lay-in.
Buster with the deep two, and it's good. Has the ball at bounce. Passes into Grieco for three, and that's 1,000 points. Goal.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside of Haddam Killingworth High School's gymnasium for tonight's game between the HK Cougars and the Westbrook Knights. We are just a few seconds away from getting the game actually started, so let's learn about both sides. So both teams are 1-12 on the year, so they're both having some lacking of success in their first 13 games, but both teams are coming off of their first win. Westbrook coming off of their first win against Morgan, and HK coming off of their first win versus Hale Ray.
Good evening and welcome to Haddam Killingworth High School for tonight's boys basketball game between the Westbrook Knights and your Haddam Killingworth Cougars. We ask that you please respect all decisions made by contest officials and school supervisors, refrain from taunting, bullying, heckling, and the use of inappropriate language, and that you respect athletes, coaches, cheerleaders, and other fans. Noisemakers and confetti are not allowed at shoreline contests. Here are tonight's starting lineups. For the Westbrook Knights, a junior guard, number 33, Dave McCain. Number 11, a guard, sophomore, Seth Casson. Number 4 at center, a junior, Ben Schreck. Number 21, a forward, a senior captain, Jack Hayes. And number 34, a senior captain, forward, Vin Dyer. The Knights are coached by Jeff Beeman, Jordan Bean, Dan Shapiro, and Torrin Wood. And now for your Haddam Killingworth Cougars. At guard, number 15, a junior, Andrew Keelan. At guard, number 42, a sophomore, Giacomo Lopiselli. At center, number 22, a junior, Toby Callender. At forward, number 25, a junior, Matt Wills. And at guard, number 11, a senior, Jackson Parmentier. The Cougars are coached by Jim Abbott and assisted by Tom DeMoro and Mike Backwell. Now please stand and remove your hats for the national anthem.
All right, so we met both starting lineups from both teams, but let's get Westbrook's once again.
Number 33, Dave McCain, is a junior. Number 11, Seth Caslin, is a sophomore. Number 4, Ben Schreck, is a junior. And number 21, Jack Ayes, is a captain and a senior. And number 34 is Vin Dyer, who is also a captain and a senior.
All right, so for HK starting lineup, we have captains Jackson Parmentier and Matt Wills, Toby Callender, Andrew Kuhn, and the big one is Giacomo, who's coming in. He hasn't played the full season. He's new to the starting lineup, but he's really good. He's starting. The reason he earned his starting spot by far, with a lot of injuries given throughout the season, but he's right up there with the rest of them, who's played really well so far in his time. So jump ball is won by Westbrook, and they will start it off. Tipped away by Wills, and that's knocked away. The foul called. HK's ball at half court. So HK dealing with all the injuries they've had throughout the year. They've lost their depth, was the big thing. We talked to Jackson Parmentier a couple days ago, and he said depth is the big thing that they've lost. They're dealing with really an 8-man team, and given that there's 5 starters, so their bench is extremely small as Matt Wills lays up the first basket of the night. Zach Kaufman, Colin O'Brien really are the 2 main bench players you'll see. And as the team is younger, they're not very diverse in the amount of people they can choose.
Next year, they will have an advantage, however, with only Jack, who's not able to play right now, and Oliver leaving for seniors. They'll definitely have an advantage going into it next year, considering they're getting so much time, the younger players at least, on varsity.
Jackson Parmentier, the captain, he's really the only senior that's played at all this year. Jack Spooner got injured early in the year, and Oliver hasn't gotten the playing time he might want so far this year. But the bigger loss was Jack. He was the big man along with Matt as in the starting lineup, and he was first to go. And after that, it went fast. But another guy that HK is missing tonight is Darren Hiller. He's out. Apparently he's sick. So that is another big loss. And Jackson Parmentier said they are just dropping like flies. They're moving quick. So adjusting to the loss of men is big for HK. A 3-2 defense from HK underneath. Westbrook takes a 3. Won't fall. Offensive rebound, and he puts it back in. Westbrook with the 5-2 early lead. It's 9-3 ball handlers. Jackson Parmentier, Andrew Kuhn, who takes a 3, won't fall. And Giacomo, number 42, are the 3 main ball handlers you'll see. Rebounded by Wills. Andrew Kuhn, he's been a starter throughout the entire year. That's a 3 from Giacomo, and it's good, 5-5. A 3 from Westbrook, and they exchange 3s. Jackson Parmentier taking a slower approach. That's another 3 from HK, and that won't fall. Both teams slowing the pace now. And a quick pass up court. Fast ball movement from Westbrook. Continuing the ball movement. Shot won't fall, but an offensive rebound for Westbrook. And they'll drive, contested by Kuhn, and he'll get the rebound. Jack's trying to break through it himself, passes off to Wills, and Wills is fouled on the shot. previous games we've seen, free throws have been the difference in games. More the first games in the season when they played Morgan, it was a 1-point loss. And free throws throughout that entire game came down to be the deciding factor.
I think in this game especially, that's definitely going to be a big factor because the teams seem to be playing pretty evenly so far, and I think it's going to be like that for the entire game. Given that their record's 1-12 so far this season, it seems like they're playing pretty evenly throughout the season.
Yeah, both 1-12 records. On paper, it's not a game you'd want to see, but it is as even as you can get. Westbrook with another bucket, 10-7, halfway through the first. Jackson will take a 3 of his own, and it's good. Ties it up again at 10. A 3 from Westbrook, and another exchange of threes. 13-10. Definitely an evenly matched game so far. We were watching the warm-ups and we saw Westbrook was definitely a really good team from deep range, from beyond the arc. And some miscommunication from Westbrook will result in a turnover. Picked up by Jackson Parmentier, and he will drive by him, pass it off to Toby Callender, and he's denied. Driving is Westbrook, pass it off, and he lays it in. 15-10. Pass off to Giacomo. Won't go. Foul on the shot. It'll be HK's ball underneath. So a big thing that Jackson's been talking about is the coaching style. The coach is keeping the intensity up, if not it increasing. And the coach is starting to get mad, which we haven't seen from the coach all year. And he's expecting more from the team as the season progresses, as you'd expect with any team. You want them to get better throughout the year. And regardless of a record, the team is still expected to be better. And we are seeing Darren Hiller check in, who was not expected to play tonight. So they have elected to keep him in the game, and he will check in for the first time tonight.
It will give Jackson Parmentier a little bit of a breather, though, considering he usually plays for the majority of the game.
Driving is Westbrook, and they'll lay it in. So a timeout from Haddam Killingworth. But back to the coaching, he is expecting more of the team this late in the year with just a few games left. And he won't handle anyone not giving 100%, whether it be in a practice or in a game. And he expects the best from the team.
I mean, you can even hear it from up here during the timeout. He's telling them they have to give 100% in order to get this. You have to get as many shots up as you can. Even with just a 7-point difference right now, every shot that they can get up, whether it's a miss or goes in, it's going to count.
He wants the whole team in it. He wants the dedication to be increasing to the games, whether they're 1-12 or 12-1. They want that. The coaching staff wants the dedication to be 100% because he knows the team's going to come back next year, and the kids that will be back, they're going to want it, and they want to win next year. And I think they have as good a shot as any team to win, especially given they're only really losing one member of the senior class in Jackson. So number 23, Darren Hiller, will take over as ball handler with Jackson on the bench. Andrew Kuhn, he'll hit a 3. 17-13.
Something we're seeing a lot this game is where both teams are getting the opportunity to shoot way more threes than we've seen in really any game throughout the entire season.
Miscommunication with HK results in a turnover. So Westbrook ball underneath. And a deep three. And another exchange. Both teams taking advantage of the deep ball so far. Giacomo up top. Him and Darren will be the primary handlers. And we're seeing more of Matt Wills with Jackson on the bench. HK ball underneath. Darren inbound to Giacomo. He'll drive pass out to Kuhn. Over back to Darren. Giacomo will slow things down up top. Kuhn inside to Wills. He'll drive and lay it in. Nice job by Matt Wills to get up and around the defender's arms. Cutting right by Kuhn. Won't fall. Rebounded by Wills. And that's Matt Wills for three. A little short. And we'll send back down with Westbrook.
And now we have Zach Kaufman coming in. Kobe Calendar.
Just over a minute to play in the first quarter. Foul on the shot will result in 2 foul shots. Giacomo called on the foul. First one won't fall. He'll miss them both, but an offensive rebound from Westbrook. Blocked shot, but another offensive rebound. Westbrook thriving on those so far. Overcommitment by Darren. Really good defense by HK by not allowing him to get through, but he'll lay it in and off the rim. Rebounded by Kuhn. Darren Hill will bring it up, pass it off to Wills. He'll drive. Pass it outside to Giacomo for three. Won't fall. And Wills with great effort to keep it inbounds, but it goes off of Westbrook. And HK will inbound on their side.
Ben Schreck of Westbrook is coming in for Vin Dyer.
Ball being knocked around. But a travel called. Westbrook ball. So we're seeing so far how Westbrook's size is definitely bigger than HK. We're seeing that with offensive and defensive rebounds. Yet Jackson believes that the skill of HK, we've seen that with Wills, how he kind of finesses the ball in somehow, some way with their threes or with a layup and driving. He thinks their skill level is higher than Westbrook.
I mean, I definitely agree with that. Like, height gives you some of an advantage, but it's not everything. It'll get you some rebounds, but it's definitely about actually taking the shot and getting it in,
Right.
which is what's going to count.
Yeah, we just saw it right there. Westbrook tried to drive a little bit, and they were denied quickly, not because of the size of HK, but if HK was to do that with giving it to Wills, literally any of their ball handlers, they would get it in quickly. HK definitely goes for that extra pass to get the right shot. They're not a selfish team. So just 5 seconds left. That'll be a three from HK, and it'll fall. And that'll be it for the first quarter, 20-18. Westbrook up by 2, but a very even first quarter, as much as we would expect. So what are we expecting? Any adjustments for either team to make, if any, for the second quarter?
Personally, I thought that Darren Hiller was not going to be able to come in at all, given that he was sick. But now I definitely think that that's going to help HK out, because now we'll be able to give Jackson and possibly even Matt Wills a couple breathers throughout the game, which usually they don't get, especially if Darren were to be sick. They're losing a ball handler right off the bat.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to keep Jackson and Matt off the floor at the same time. They'll rotate, and Darren's kind of the middleman in between the two of them. He'll rotate in for one or the other. So we definitely saw Jackson off the court first. So we expect him to most likely start the second quarter, right? And Matt will start taking a rest. But we are set to start the second quarter. And Darren will be on the court, and Jackson will take some more time off, which is a little bit of a surprise.
They're also putting Colin O'Brien in, which we have not seen so far.
One of the very few ball handlers and bench players they have on this team. It does help that Darren's healthy tonight. We didn't expect that. Westbrook tries to drive, passes out. Darren, aggressive defense, tries to put it in, and that's a defensive rebound by Hiller. And he'll try to take it all the way, and he won't. That'll be knocked off and rebounded by Westbrook. Westbrook seems to be their primary shot is the three. That'll be a travel called on Westbrook, sending it back to HK. But their primary shot, their first look is always a three. They drive on a secondary chance. HK slowing it down. Colin hooks it inside to Wills. He'll fake it and drive, and he'll lay it in. Ties it up at 20. Just over a minute into the second quarter. And a three won't fall. Rebounded by Kuhn. Wills trying to go in again. He hooks it in. Back-to-back lay-ins by Matt Wills gives HK the lead. Good defense by Andrew Kuhn. It's a clean block from Kuhn. Defensively, HK is playing one of their best games of the year. That's a three from Hiller. And he misses that. Rebounded by Westbrook. Very fast-paced game from both sides. A deep three. Knocked away, but picked up by Colin O'Brien of HK. Inside to Wills. Back out to Kuhn. You wish maybe a fake pass there got out of his hand. That'll be a foul. They won't call it was a shot, so he'll take two. They'll sink the first. 22-21. So he'll hit them both, and the game is tied, 22-22. Giacomo back in now. He'll be the ball handler. We're seeing Wills back up top. Inside to Calendar. Giacomo inside to Toby. Toby will muscle it up and lay it in. 24-22. A rotating defense for HK. The 2-3 type. Another clean block picked up by Wills. And he will take it all the way himself. HK going on a little bit of a run here to start after the foul shots. That's a 3 from Westbrook. And it falls. That is a run killer right there, 26-25. Giacomo will take a contested 3, and that won't go. HK is getting a little crazy with all those shots. So great defense by Giacomo to go in and rip it away, and Matt Wills will recover. Giacomo from the corner. Won't fall again. HK definitely getting a little 3 happy right now. Oh, and they say he stepped out of bounds. Kaufman with great effort. And we'll take a timeout from Westbrook as they are chasing 1. So HK went on a little bit of a run there, and I mean a 4-point run at that, but it was a run nonetheless, and then it was killed right off the bat by a 3 from Westbrook.
Noticing Westbrook is really only putting up 3s at this point. I don't know if they're not the best from shooting from the paint or getting layups, but right now we're really only seeing them get 3s.
Right, and HK, when they were getting points, they were working the ball inside. And like you said, Westbrook was only taking 3s. It's their primary shot. And they seem to have a pretty deep range, at least trying. They'll shoot from 5 feet behind the white line, but HK is definitely working the interior, but much better. So it'll be Westbrook's ball underneath after the timeout. HK showing a 3-2. And it'll be passed outside for another 3, and that'll fall, and they'll take the lead. 28-26. Just under 4 minutes to play in the half. Darren pump fakes, pass over Giacomo. Great ball movement from HK. That's a 3 from Giacomo, and he hits it. 29-28, exchanging the lead. An inside pass to Westbrook, and he puts it in. One of the first interior plays we've seen in a while, and it worked. Hiller takes a 3, and he hits that. Back-to-back 3s. 32-30, under 3 minutes to play. We've got a good one so far. If he keeps this up, we will have an exciting finish, no doubt about that.
I'm surprised that Jackson Parmentier has been out as long as he has been, but like I said before, with Darren being in, he's definitely contributing a lot to our score so far.
We were saying before at the end of the first quarter here, they won't take Jackson and Matt out. We haven't seen that done pretty much at all throughout the whole season, and that's exactly what they did right after we said that, both Matt and Jackson sitting on the bench.
They are still doing very well with both of them not even in the game right now, though.
It is 32-32, and they're scoring. They're playing really well on defense. They're doing their job, no doubt.
They seem to be playing a more aggressive defense than we saw at the first couple games of the season, especially the games against Morgan and some of the other ones in the early season.
Much more aggressive for sure. And that might be some of the coach telling them he's expecting more out of them, as we see a 3 from Westbrook. And that'll fall, and they'll take the lead. Just telling them to get more aggressive and expecting more out of them, and we're seeing it on the defensive side. Giacomo will take that. Fouled on the shot. And he'll tag 2, sent to the line. So neither team is really in trouble with fouls so far. It's been a pretty clean game. Giacomo's a really crisp shooter. Reminds you a lot of Steph Curry in the NBA, honestly. The way he finishes and how crisp his shots go through. He hits both shots very cleanly. Very disorganized offense from Westbrook, denied by Wills. Two offensive rebounds, and fouled by Callender on the way up. So Westbrook will be sent to the line with 1:26 left to go in the half. Trey Callender, number 55, is set to check in a few minutes before the half ends, and he'll check in for his brother, Toby. Very early trade-in for Trey, who normally gets in later in the game. Another offensive rebound from Westbrook. And he puts it up, and the bucket's good. 38-34. So far, the difference in the game is offensive rebounds Westbrook's gotten and converted. As Wills powers through and lays it in, makes it a one-possession game. A 3 from Westbrook. It'll fall, 41-36 with exactly a minute to go. Kuhn will take a contested long 2, and he makes it fall. 3-point game, 40 seconds. That's a 3. But an offensive rebound. Puts it back up. And a renewed possession for Westbrook with 30 seconds left. Driving by, and the referee says he stepped out of bounds. So we'll go back with HK with 19 seconds left. Take it slow. Trying for the last shot. 10 seconds left. He will drive, and he'll lose it. But he's fouled. HK's ball underneath. 4.3 seconds. So Trey Callender quickly subbed out after just over a minute of play. So that's lobbed up to Wills. He will drive, lay it in, and he's fouled. Basket's no good. Exactly 2 seconds left, but Matt Wills will be sent to the line. Misses first.
Subbing in number 13 and number 34 for HK with only 2 seconds to go in the half.
So Colin O'Brien and Zach Kaufman in. Wills will take his second shot, and it falls, so Westbrook will have 2 seconds to get something done. Passes into half court, lobs it up at the buzzer, and it's no good. So at halftime, it'll be 41-38. Westbrook on top by 3. And that was one of the most evenly matched halves we've seen all year from HK, from any team.
They seem to be playing much better than usual tonight. I mean, they're very evenly matched, as you said, but defensively and offensively, we're seeing a lot more moves from HK. More shots, better defense, really everything tonight.
All around, both teams they really couldn't be more even. And it's definitely showing in both the score and their play. I think that HK should continue the inside, the layups, and getting the ball down to Matt Wills and Toby Callender, because that's when they went on a little bit of a run, that's when it worked best, and that's where they're guaranteed points almost.
I mean, HK is definitely capitalizing on Westbrook's, I'd say, maybe weaknesses at this point. So for some recent games coming up for Westbrook, on Friday the 2nd, they are away at Creed. And on Tuesday, which is the 6th, Hale Ray, they will be playing Hale Ray at home in their gym.
All right, so for HK, their last 2 games, they played North Branford, and they lost 63-34. And last Saturday, they played Hale Ray, and they had their first win, 52-51, which was a crazy game. We might get a little bit into that later. And tonight, they are playing Westbrook, and on Friday will be their next game, first game of February versus Cromwell, and that'll be away in their gym. All right, so some big games coming up to round out the season of both sides. They don't have any state or shoreline hopes, but they still have big games nonetheless.
I mean, either team who gets the win, they're going to be on a winning streak right away. So regardless of who it is, if it's HK, it's definitely going to be really important that they can get the win on Friday against Creed.
So what are you expecting out of the gate in the second half from both sides?
Out of the gate, as we were saying before, we didn't think that they would take out Matt Wills and Jackson Parmentier at the same time, but I'm thinking that we'll see a little more from Jackson Parmentier in the second half, considering he was out for almost the entire half.
Right, yeah, subbed out early somewhat in the first quarter, and shockingly, they took both him and Matt out, but they kept Jackson out for a really long time. And I know he hasn't gotten the time he wants as a senior, and he is one of their better players, so he deserves to be on the floor. But they're keeping him out a lot.
The only thing that I can think of why they would keep him out is for him to get fouls, because we noticed in the last couple games he was definitely getting high up there. But if it comes down to the wire for this game, considering it's been so close, I think they want to have Jackson to put in as a backup.
All right, so we will see what happens in just over 7 minutes. So we will now send it off to what we call our halftime show video.
On January 17, 2018, the town of Haddam declared a state of emergency for fear of flooding brought on by ice dams forming in the Connecticut River. The largest of the dams stretches over 5 miles long, starting at the Swing Bridge going north all the way past Higganum. Haddam First Selectwoman Liz Millardo explains how unpredictable the ice is.
I just want to be more proactive than reactive because, weather and water, you don't mess with it. You don't know where it's going to go. So if those ice dams start to melt and break, and God forbid the Coast Guard couldn't break them up, we're seeing water levels that are concerning enough. That's with all of that ice still frozen in the river. So if those dams let go and melt, I'm really concerned about how it's going to affect some of those residents.
The Coast Guard was called in to break up the dams, but the ice was too thick in spots, causing problems and delays as they moved up the river.
I actually spoke to one of the commanders that was on the Coast Guard boat during the update, and they were moving very slowly. Their goal is to break those pieces of ice into the smallest pieces possible so that they'll just melt away and go downriver. They did inform us that ice dams are very unpredictable, so they're not sure, so they are being very cautious. They're going back, so once it seems that they break through, they're going back just to see where that ice is going off.
Marinas all along the river are seeing firsthand the damages that can be caused by these ice dams.
This was considered an act of God. So all of those docks for probably everyone on the water and all of those marinas down in Chester, etc., could not get any other additional funding.
Obviously a lot of dock repairs. A lot of the hinges have snapped, so it won't be a very easy thing to do. Pilings, we're going to have to dig them out and yank them out too. It won't be exactly a cheap thing to do. And we're not the only marina affected, but several are too. With several snapped bridges, we have a few damaged pieces there that we've been able to get. We haven't seen anything quite like this before. We have had the river freeze over and has taken out a few pilings, but we've never had it actually come up to this high before.
People from all over Connecticut and beyond have been coming to Haddam to witness this once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon.
We've actually had quite a surprising number of people to come. A lot of pictures, a lot of drone pilots have come and taken pictures, the news. We usually have quite a few cars per hour, and even after hours too.
However, the main concern is still the safety of residents along the Connecticut River.
I'm just concerned no one can give me an answer, and you know, rightfully so, right? They don't know how to predict it. So what's going to happen if this ice starts to melt? How much more water is that going to cause? And the constant answer I keep getting is ice dams are unpredictable. We have social services is available, so we do have for people, you know, after the fact, if they do end up needing food, we do have food that we can supply. We do have a clothing closet and some clothing that we can help. We've already been in contact with the Red Crosses to things to help to find shelter. I mean, people in this town are wonderful. They've been neighbors helping neighbors. But I think the biggest thing is don't chance it. If we ask you to evacuate, please do. Because if you have a medical emergency, we can't get at you. And I just want everybody to be safe.
All right, so we're back from our halftime show, we'll call it. So let's get a little bit more into that Hail Ray game that HK played last Saturday, and they won, but in crazy fashion. So we'll skip all the way to the very end. The last 13 seconds, it was tied 52-52, and Hail Ray had the ball, inbounding it, and they had HK had the ball, and they inbounded it to Giacomo, who broke free for a layup to make it 54-52. And then with 7 seconds left, they inbounded the ball, and Matt Wills picked it up, his 5th foul. And he was fouled out, so they were done. But that sent Hail Ray to the line, and that was their best player, and he made one of his 2 shots. And then after the miss, they got an offensive rebound. And then the clock, there was mixed up things with the clock the whole time. It wouldn't start, it did start, stuff like that. So the referees just determined to put 2 seconds left. And after a foul was committed, down by 1, Hail Ray was at the line. And all he had to do was make 1 to force overtime, and he misses them both. HK got the rebound, and they won. So that was a extremely tight game for Hale Ray and HK. And it really set up HK up for a good win today, hopefully. But coming off of a win in that dramatic fashion and that tight of a finish, how do you rebound and come back and play just as well the next time?
I mean, considering they've had such a tough season with injuries, losses, and whatever other minor complications along the way, that one win, especially a win like that, was huge for them. And so much is at stake tonight because they want to continue on that winning streak. Yes, they might not have a chance to be in states or shorelines, but it's their last couple games that for Jackson he'll ever have with a team like this again.
So the end is definitely near for our seniors. And we are ready for the second half. 41-39, Westbrook with the lead. So Jackson was out there to start the second half. We'll see how long he's out there. Matt Wills also out there. Toby Calendar, Giacomo, and Andrew Kuhn. So Jackson will take over as primary ball handler. Giacomo the way around, puts up a floater, and he banks it in. Tie game 41-41. Good defense by HK, but it will get over the hand of Kuhn for a Westbrook bucket. Giacomo puts up a three. Won't go. Knocked it around, but foot was out of bounds. So Westbrook will give it right back to HK underneath their own basket. Matt Wills takes an open three, and he has an air ball. And Jackson, with the rebound, fouled on the way up, so he'll take two shots, his first two of the night. He'll miss his first, a little short. And he'll drain the second, 43-42. HK showing a 1-3-1, some kind of defense, or a 2-3 rotating. Westbrook definitely slowing the pace. But that'll be a three. No good, rebounded by Parmentier. And he will take it, give it off to Wills, and Wills, no shot, but a foul. Travel is called on Wills before the shot. If the travel wasn't called, a foul on the shot would have. Very slow pace from Westbrook. That's intercepted by Giacomo. A terrible pass to Jackson will be picked up by Westbrook. And a three from Westbrook. Won't go, but another offensive rebound. And Westbrook will be fouled.
We've been seeing a lot of offensive rebounds for number 34 for Westbrook, which is Vin Dyer. He's one of the seniors and captains this year, and you've been seeing a lot of points from him throughout this entire game.
Each gate a prime opportunity to stolen pass. 2-on-1, but a really bad pass from Giacomo. Really sent it back to Westbrook. So we'll see Trey Calendar checking in again, number 55. And a three from Westbrook will go. 46-42. And a timeout from Westbrook. 46-42. Trey Calendar was just set to check in. We'll see if he comes in after the timeout. Very interesting that he's checking in so early. They normally had him. They had him in the first quarter, the first half, I should say, for just over a minute, and he checked in for his brother. But now they're putting him in with just under 6 minutes in the third, and we don't know who he'll check in for yet. But what's the philosophy there?
I mean, the only thing I can think of at this time is maybe giving someone a break. But, I mean, really in the third quarter, we haven't even had enough time for them to really get tired. Westbrook's been playing a little slower, I'd say, than they were in the second quarter. And if that speeds up, then yes, Trey is giving some other player a break, but I don't know if that's really going to help us or kill us.
The lack of depth that HK is experiencing, that just getting more experience for younger players. Kuhn will take it, give it into Trey, and Trey will lay it in. Big possession for Trey right there. Makes it a one-possession game.
HK is definitely capitalizing on the fact that Westbrook is not taking anything except threes, and I think by putting Trey in, we're definitely going to get some more shots out of the paint.
That's a contested shot, rebounded by Kuhn. Inbounded to Wills. Over to Giacomo, back into Wills, and he loses it, kicking it around, rebounded by Westbrook. He's massively outnumbered, but a three will fall for Westbrook. 49-44.
I mean, it's definitely a brave strategy for Westbrook to primarily only take threes, but you can see even in a moment like this, those extra 5 points compared to HK just getting 2-point shots, it's really adding up now.
A lot of it goes back to the offensive rebounds from Westbrook. They've gotten a lot of offensive rebounds, and they've capitalized every time. Most times, I should say.
And we saw them mostly from number 34, as I said before, but right now he is out.
HK's zone is starting a little bit higher up, seeing that Westbrook's taking pretty much 100% threes. Block them before they can get there. Good defense from HK, trying to get inside is Westbrook, and they are stolen. Darren is outnumbered, passed off to Giacomo. And he will finger roll that off the rim. .44. Darren inside to Matt, and he'll lay it in. No foul. Darren taking over as point guard, with Jackson still in the game.
Right now, almost everybody on the court for HK is a very solid ball handler, and that definitely gives them the advantage right now.
That's true. Their coach will trust all 5 of them with the ball. As we just saw Westbrook go inside. And here's Jackson. Pass it off to Wills. Behind the back to Giacomo for 3. It's an air ball. That's a deep 3 and contested. Offensive rebound, put it back up. Won't go, rebounded by Wills. He'll take it all the way himself. And he lays it in. 53-48. 2:30 left in the third. rebounding inside is Westbrook. And a foul called. So Westbrook underneath. On the corner, his feet will be out of bounds. HK will take over with 2:14 left in the third. Darren going to his strong right side. Inside to Wills. Before the shot, there was a foul. Parmentier will inbound underneath his own basket. Going up top to Giacomo. That is stolen by Westbrook. Perimeter passing for Westbrook. A lot of pump fake threes. Good defense by Kuhn not to let that get in. And Jackson will drive, but a foul call. You can't blame the HK defense for falling for a few of these pump fakes from deep range because it's been normal so far for Westbrook to take them.
From Westbrook right now, we're seeing a lot more action from number 21, who's the captain, and senior Jack Hayes. In the first half, he really was not stepping up to the ball that much, but now I've noticed that he's definitely more on top of it now.
53-50 after a lay-in from Zach Kaufman. Another three, and he hits it, 56-50. 1:06 to go and a timeout from Westbrook. What are you going to call a timeout after a made three? Normally you would call it to end the run or end the rally. You can see inside the Haddam Killingworth huddle that the coach, Mr. Abbott, is not happy. He's letting him have it. He doesn't think they're giving that 100% that he knows they can be. Well, primarily would be on defense, I would imagine, at this point.
I mean, this is probably the smallest gap they've had for all season in most of their games. And even with that, where we can come back from it, the coach is not going to let up, especially at a time like this. They're trying to get that second win and continue on that winning streak. And like I said before, it doesn't matter really because they're not going to be in Shorelines in the state conference right now. They're just trying to do that for themselves.
Darren Hiller will inbound it to Kuhn. Give it right back to Hiller. Matt Wills up top, trying to get inside. He'll give it off to Kaufman, and that shot goes wild. A foul underneath, and it'll be Westbrook's ball. High intensity defense from HK. As soon as the ball's passed to his man, they are on top of it. And denied by Kuhn. Another rebound from Westbrook. And a three won't go. Rebounded by Parmentier with 20 seconds. Slowing it down, trying to take one of the last shots. Driving is Parmentier. Won't go. Rebounded by Wills, and he'll put it in. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. 56-52. Definitely high intensity on defense and offense from both sides of the ball from Haddam Killingworth. That fiery speech that Coach Abbott had a few minutes ago in the timeout was definitely the difference maker in the intensity.
I mean, this game, especially in basketball in general, it's more of a mental game sometimes before it even comes down to the skill and the height that players are bringing to the table. Right now, HK is fully in it. They want that second win, but right now they're down 4 points. They're trying to get their lead back so that they're tied and then take the lead again. But in order to get that, your head needs to be in the game. You can't just give up at this point.
I think that's where Coach is coming from, where he wants all of the minute, 100% of the time, and he wants a minute from the jump until the last buzzer. And they're, like you said, they're not, both teams are 1-12. They're not playing for anything ranking-wise necessarily. They're playing against another team. They're playing for bragging rights almost. One team's going to be 2-12 after the game, and one will be 1-13. So one team will definitely, obviously, improve from the game, but it's more bragging rights nonetheless in the end. That's Wills up top, driving in a no-look pass to Callender will sail out of bounds. So a 4-point game with 1 quarter to go. The biggest lead from either side tonight has been no more than 6 or 8 points. Westbrook trying to drive in, but nothing happening. HK is almost forcing them to take a 3, which is their strong suit. Westbrook will be sent to the line. Foul shot's really critical coming down to the end with just a 4-point lead, now a 5-point lead. And only a quarter to play. So he makes them both, and the lead is now up to 6. One of the biggest spreads we've seen tonight. Jackson Parmentier as point guard. Off to Giacomo. A lot of picks from HK's offense right now. Kuhn will drive in. Might have been tipped on the way up. Fake 3. Some coaching from the sideline will get Toby tonight at the rim. Jackson Parmentier is hit hard to the ground as usual. He never seems to find a graceful way to the ground. It's always just a loud thump when he hits the ground, and it's never graceful. So if we look inside of the Cougar Den right now, we'll see a cutout fat head of the senior captain, Jackson Parmentier, that was created by an HK student. That's good. We've seen that a few times the last couple years, but that's funny. Jackson's got to appreciate that.
I mean, honestly, even being down 6 points, being Jackson Parmentier, if I looked over and I saw that, no matter what, I would laugh.
That's funny. So back to the game. Jackson Parmentier still in the game. And Westbrook will hit a 3. 61-52, the biggest lead of the night. Westbrook kind of getting away right now from HK. Back out to Parmentier. Back out to Wills. Through the arms of the defense. Westbrook with really good defense right now. And Jackson Parmentier spins around and hits that short jumper. 61-54. 5:52 left in the fourth. Westbrook working the interior. Passes right back out for three, and they hit another one. 64-50 for a 10-point lead. And they are increasing the lead to the largest of the night. Westbrook's defense definitely increasing intensity. Parmentier takes a contested shot, won't fall, and a hold.
We're definitely seeing more pressure on HK from Westbrook now, especially with Jackson noticing. They've definitely noticed that he was one of the standout players for HK, and we're seeing it with Matt Wills as well.
That's a tough pass Jackson just made to Giacomo across the baseline. Giacomo's shot won't fall. So Westbrook's definitely trying some new stuff. They're trying to get inside as much as they can, but HK's defense just won't allow it, which forces them to make threes, take threes, and they're making them. Trying to get inside again, and there's a three, and he made it. That was some good timing for an explanation, I'd say.
This is the biggest lead that Westbrook has had over HK for the entire game, and it comes at bad timing given that there's only 4.5 minutes left.
Definitely the biggest lead of the night. But HK, they won't let them in. They won't let them in the paint for short-range shots. But why not? You know that you can defend them down there. They're only hitting threes. Why not defend them up top?
I mean, honestly, I think it would be better if they let Westbrook into the paint and honestly just force them out of the area of taking threes, because clearly they're going to make them no matter what. Whether there's two people on them, one person on them, or honestly they're just out there by themselves, it's not going to stop Westbrook. We've seen that through the entire game. All they're taking is threes, and all the extra points that they're getting, that extra 1 point for each shot is clearly adding up.
I would definitely say we saw it a little bit, how HK would start their presses higher, up towards the top of the key. I say they should keep them up there and keep the zone, or even go to man and just keep them away from shooting the three.
I think that if HK had the subs, that they would definitely press full court. But given that really you don't have anybody to sub in for HK right now that can count for Darren Hill or Jackson Parmentier and really anybody out there right now, they have to play it safe and save their energy for the last couple minutes of the game.
All right, so out of the timeout, Jackson Parmentier hits his first shot. 67-56. Just over 4 minutes in the halfway point of the fourth quarter. So trying to get it inside. It's just not happening for Westbrook, but there is a foul, and Matt Wills seems stunned. Just like the first quarter, it was a very clean quarter. The team's approaching a bonus, but not quite there. Westbrook will hit their first shot from the line. He'll go 50%. So we're at the 4-minute mark, the halfway mark of the fourth. Jackson pass off to Wills. And the foul. Matt Wills muscles it in. Cuts it down to 10 points. And he'll take one foul shot. hits it, a successful three-point play. Down to single-digit lead now for Westbrook. So HK is showing pressure through the full court, but not really a full court, more of a three-quarter court defense.
HK definitely needs to be careful with fouls, though. If they're going to be pressing throughout the last couple minutes of the game, they need to be careful with their hands, especially, I know that Matt and Jackson both have a couple fouls right now, and you do not need them to foul out at this point.
And there's Matt Wills taking another foul, so he'll be sent back to the line for 2 this time. He'll miss his first. Offensive rebound for Wills, and he puts it up and it won't go. More fouls called on HK. So Westbrook will take it down. So HK finally showing a really full court defense now off of the full court inbound from Westbrook. That ball stolen by Parmentier, up to Kuhn, and he misses the wide open layup. Pass it in to Toby, and Toby's fouled on the shot. So he'll be sent to the line, but Andrew Kuhn misses a wide open shot. He might have felt some pressure coming from behind, and he might have put a little bit more on it. Toby Callender will now take 2. They need all the shots they can get right now. They'll miss the first. Miss them both. Crucial missed shots. An offensive rebound from Jackson Parmentier and a quick timeout before a jump ball was called from Coach Abbott. So that's smart. The jump ball might have gone with Westbrook. So it'll be HK's ball underneath after the missed shot from Toby Callender. So 68-59, 3 minutes to go. HK's got to get back into it. What offensive strategies will they keep going or start doing to get the rest of the way?
Considering they've been pressing them for the last couple minutes, they're definitely going to be tired, and I think that's one of the reasons that HK called the timeout right now. But they're not going to be able to sub anyone in, so offensively, they have most of their ball handlers on the court right now, and that's definitely going to help them. They're going to have options and all different players to shoot from, so.
All right, so Darren Hiller will inbound underneath HK's own basket. Darren's pretty much played as a starter tonight, although he did not start the game. He's had the starting time. Jackson Parmentier up top, driving, and he's fouled. So arguably HK's best shooter, sent to the line. Jackson went 50% his last time to the line. Drains the first. Jackson's face still being shown in the Cougar den. Most fittingly when he's at the line. And he'll hit them both. 68-61, within striking distance now for HK with under 3 minutes to play. Not very intense pressure on the full court zone, but they just have such confidence that Westbrook isn't going to drive underneath quickly that they can sacrifice having 2 or 3 guys ahead of half court. So a timeout this time from Westbrook with 2:40 to go. So it'll be a 60-second timeout. So what I think HK has to do with their zones, their full court zone, and their full court press, is they have to really try to trap and put more pressure on. You see them, they're just kind of following the ball and slowing down the time up the court. They have to put the pressure on them to either get a steal or force a turnover of some kind.
Right now, what I'm expecting from Westbrook, given that they have a 7-point lead right now, is when they have possession, they're going to try to slow down the ball as much as possible because they have been making pretty solid passes throughout the game. No mistakes. I know that HK has made a couple turnovers so far, especially in the third quarter, but they need to kind of speed it up if they're going to get that 7 points back in this last couple minutes.
So a loud break from HK, changing their MTXC, their mental toughness, extra effort slogan that they've gone throughout the entire year. That's stolen by Hiller. He'll be contested at the line, and he'll be fouled on the way up. His shot won't fall, but he'll be sent to the line. So 2 crucial shots coming right now from Darren Hiller. Misses the first. Really big shots right now. Foul shots are what will win HK the game. So he misses them both. But a rebound by Jackson Parmentier. Lots of missed opportunities from HK. Jackson. Driving over to Wills. He'll take a shot from behind the backboard, and it won't go. But 3 HK defenders. Darren will come out with it and he'll put it up. 68-63 with 2 minutes to play in the game. A lot more pressure right now from HK on the full court presses. Good defense by Wills, almost getting a steal. A double team trap. They're going to call that on Matt Wills. So Westbrook is in a bonus. So that will send him to the line. Giacomo checking in for Hiller. Giacomo is their sharpshooter for sure, and that's what you'll need. Last minute 35 of this game. Down by just 5. Now 6. So he'll miss the second and rebounded by Matt Wills. Rebounds from HK is crucial. And of course made shots. So it's a big 3 from Kuhn. Won't fall, but rebounded by Giacomo. And tipped away, rebounded by Westbrook. That's a 3. And he hits it. That's a dagger for HK. 72-63. Parmentier takes a 3 and he hits it. All right, so a minute left, 72-66, and a timeout's called. by HK. So a 6-point game, a minute to go. HK is sharpest shooters in the game. Jackson has hit a 3. Giacomo's in the game. He can hit 3s. Kuhn can hit 3s. Wills can hit 3s. And if they put Hiller in, Hiller can also hit 3s. So all of them. And they could all obviously dig inside and make a layup. But they have their best shooting lineup by far.
Right now, I think their best option is to get an opportunity and control the shot, take 2 threes, tie it up, and see what happens from there. But the thing is, they have to prevent Westbrook from taking any more shots and getting any fouls on HK, because that'll change it for us.
And if HK is fouled, they send them to the line, and we need to make our shots. Westbrook has made theirs, and it's our turn throughout the entire game. I said in the first quarter, they'll have to make shots in order to win the game. And now given they've had 2 trips to the line by Toby and by Darren, where they've missed both. And that's 4 points right there at most. We could be looking at a 72-70 game. Much different situational play. But it'll be Westbrook's ball. Jackson and Darren showing a press, but not very intensely. So that's a 10-second violation. HK, with the lackadaisical defense, will still force a 10-second violation. That'll give it back to HK at midcourt. So mentioned Kuhn subs out. Darren, Giacomo, Matt, Toby, and Jackson all in. Toby and Matt, the big men. Matt driving. Out to Darren for 3. Short. A foul on the floor. With 42 seconds left. Westbrook will take a 1-and-1. And he'll hit it. So he'll get another shot. 73-66. Missed the second, rebounded by Andrew Kuhn. So under 40 to play. Off to Wills, that's a deep 3. And he hits it! 73-69 with under 30 to play. Coach is screaming to foul him, and Matt Wills gets a foul on number 21 of Westbrook. 22 seconds left, and they'll be sent to the line. Westbrook is making right now. Makes it a 5-point game with 22 seconds left. So it is a 2-possession game regardless if he makes this or not. And he will, so it's a 6-point lead.
They're putting number 30 in for HK, and they've done that for the last minute, for the last 4 quarters. And he's been able to get some shots up, so I'm assuming that that's what the HK coach is going for right now.
Jackson driving. He's not fouled, and the shot won't go. Matt Wills attempts to foul, and they are not fouling him. 10 seconds left, and finally, Kuhn gets an arm on number 21 of Westbrook. So back on the other side, Jackson was not fouled when he went up for his shot, which is, he was trying to draw a foul, we know that. Hit both of his shots. And misses first. Still a 6-point lead with 10 seconds left. Somewhat of a miracle will have to happen in order for HK to pull this one off. So Jackson gets it. He'll take it all the way, shoots a 3, and he hits it with 5 seconds. So it's a 4-point lead with 4 seconds left.
If Westbrook did not hit that last foul shot, it would have been tied up. If they could get another 3 going into the last 4 seconds.
So talk about a miracle that would have to happen. Unless HK can get 2 layups in 4 seconds, or get a 3 and foul and make the shot, then it would be tied. So a real miracle situation is set up here if HK is going to pull this one off.
HK is not losing hope, though, going into this. They know how much is at stake for them right now.
Both of these teams are sick of losing. One of us is on the verge of going 1-13, the other 2-12. Neither record is one they'd want to keep. So immediately fouled with 2.9, a full second taken off. So if Westbrook really makes any of these, it'll solidify the game. This has been one of the most competitive games we've seen all year out of HK. The very first game of the year against Morgan, that was a very good game. That came down to the last shot, lost by 1 point. But later in the year, all the way now in the last day of January, they've come a long way and they're still competing. And I know that their coach will not let them give up just yet.
I mean, even this being a very evenly matched game, HK is still trying their absolute hardest. It just comes down to some of the shots being made in the fouls that we're seeing.
So that'll do it. The final score, 78-72. Westbrook will improve to 2-12. And HK will drop to 1-13. So we do have our upcoming games, and we'll start with HK.
For HK, we play against Cromwell on Friday away. And for Westbrook, coming off of that win, they play on Friday against Creed away. And they play Hale Ray on Tuesday at home.
So Westbrook going home happy for the second time this year, and HK will pack their bags and head home for the 13th time as defeated. So that was definitely, like we were saying, the most competitive game we've seen out of HK all year. The lead was no bigger than maybe 10 points. I'd say 6 or 8 points until the second half of the fourth quarter when Westbrook really blew away with the game. All right, so that is the final score, 78-72. Westbrook with the win. And we'd like to remind you that this game was brought to you in part by Zippo6.com. So for Hattie Hall, I'm Ross Meglin, and for the entire crew, we thank you for watching. Good night.